Hey team, welcome to part one of our 3 or 4-part series on the math quiz. This should be exciting. I would suggest right now that you watch this at a 1.5 speed on YouTube. Is my first suggestion, just because the first 7 times I tried to videotape this, it took me a while to talk through all of the resources. And the second thing I'd suggest is pause and grab a notebook and a note-taking tool, because it's going to help you capture the outcomes from this. There's about like 3 outcomes that you need to act on by Monday AM at 7 a.m. And it's just easier if you're capturing them rather than reviewing an email afterwards. So the purpose of this first video of our 4-part series is today you're going to learn where to identify when a math quiz is happening, where to identify what's in the math quiz, where to find the quick links for scholar use that need to be uploaded to Google Classroom, where to actually find the quiz, and I think that is it. There's probably a couple more things that'll pop up. I have around like 15 tabs up for this, and so it's going to be a lot of tab usage. I'm going to talk us through a couple different tools. So I'm going to talk us through the scope and sequence from Network. You've all seen this. It's called like Draft Rhode Island Elementary School Scope and Sequence. I'm going to talk us through Illuminate. You're all fairly knowledgeable of Illuminate. There's just a couple of tweaks in terms of finding quizzes this year that you need to do. I'm going to talk us through the quick link Excel page and the elementary school hub. So those are like the big ones. When you're note taking, I suggest that you create a like 4-part structure to your page if you want to partition it into 4 equal parts. I would suggest the top part be the resources that you're getting from this video. So like, what's the link called, when are you going to access it and use it. The next top box is what are the things that I need to do before a math quiz. My Zoom screen looks really crazy and I can't tell if it's crazy when you all watch this, find out. The second box is what I need to do before a quiz to be prepared to execute on it. The third is like action steps coming out of this. And then the 4th box is whatever you want it to be. In the first couple of versions of this, it was like what to do during a quiz. But part 2, so this is part 1, part 2 of this series is going to be how to execute a quiz. It's really just like use Hapara. And part 3 is how to grade, and part 4 is going to be making a data-driven plan. You may or may not get all of these before Monday. You'll see the time on my computer in a second. It's taken me a lot longer to create this. And so I'm just going to be honest with you as we go through this. Okay, so let's get into the sharing so that you can get really good at identifying where, when, and what is on our first quiz and how to locate the resources. Okay. All right. So our first quiz is coming up on, so this video is intended for the 3rd and 4th grade team. K through 2, if you're watching, I'm going to talk through the 3-4 pages and probably not the K2 ones. You're more than welcome to dig in later. It'll give you more insight. But let's start with 3rd grade because I have resources up for 3rd grade right now. So 3rd grade and everyone, when you're going in to try and figure out when is a quiz happening and what is on a quiz, you need to start with the Rhode Island Elementary School calendar. When you get in here, you want to look in the math green section, and when you scroll down, you can see that math quizzes are only ever on Mondays, and it says what math quiz it is. Their names have changed. They're now called math unit tests, and then they have a number associated with them. The number stands for, this is 1.1. The first number symbolizes the unit, and the second number symbolizes the building block. If you don't know what a building block is, you do need to go back into your unit overview and get comfortable with that. That is something that we will use all year long, and you need to know what it is. To then be able to figure out what is on this, you can obviously, like if you know what unit 1, building block 1 is about, great, probably do because you've been teaching it. And you're like generally in the thralls of it. But if you don't know, you can look right next door. It's easier to do for, it is not built into here. And so I'm going to go back to the 4th grade one. If it is one that's a little funky, so this is math unit test 1.3. It says it's covering building block 2 and building block 3. For 3rd grade, you have a little bit easier. You're like everything moves along sequentially. And so you have building block 1, building block 2. Building block 3 is eliminated here. And so you like, we'll figure out when we want to give this. But building block, it's building block 4. And so you can see when when unit 1 is done, we move into unit 2, the names start to shift and they become 2.2. And then that finished really quickly. So now it's 3.1. So this is where this calendar is where you figure out when the quiz is and what's in it. If you're like, man, I don't remember what a building block is, or oh no, I don't even know what's in that building block, I'd suggest that you make sure that you've actually unpacked your unit. If you haven't, then it's probably gonna hold you back a little bit. And if that's the case and you feel like, man, I don't know what's on it, you can go into your handy dandy elementary math hub. This is from the elementary school hub. I'm already in the math section because it's I pre-populated everything on my computer for this. But go into the grade level and then go into the unit overview. So I went into the 3rd grade overview and I opened up unit 1. You want to scroll until you find this cool guy where it says learning progressions. The building blocks are on the left side. Unfortunately, the way it is set up here, you can't see it down here. But the building blocks are on the left and the target curricular aim is on the right. Building blocks are what they sound like. They're the building blocks that build towards the target curricular aim. They're the foundation to making sure that a kid can do this skill. So 3rd grade knows that their first unit test is on 9/28, and it's assessing, based on the information here, it is assessing 1.1. So that's unit 1, building block 1. So I come back over here and I'm like, what was that about again? Oh, it's students use arrays to represent and understand multiplication as situations with equal groups. You have to know that, one, because you really do need to know what kids are being assessed on. You've also been teaching it, so you should be able to say that to begin with. And then, this is an email I sent to the math team, and a lot of this information will come out in the email that I'm probably linking to this video. But the schedule for Mondays, we're going to focus on the 2nd of the 2 Mondays on this screen. If I can figure out how to show it to you. Nope, everything collapses, which is super cool. We're going to focus on this Monday right here. Your Monday schedule, the math section at the top includes this math quiz. And when you look, the first 20 minutes are math cumulative review. That's going to come to you from your planners, and it's not actually quiz related. It is standards that are being reassessed and retaught to kiddos. What's important here is this math quiz review block that Priska and Marissa are creating. It's going to include about 3 problems, and they're all refreshers for what the building block is about. So 4th grade, you have your first math unit assessment on this upcoming Monday. We're moving our Illuminate practice test, you all know this, to Friday of this week. But your math unit test 1.1 is actually on this upcoming Monday, whereas 3rd grades isn't until the following. Because it's 1.1, your unit 1, building block 1, is factors, multiples, prime, and composite. So when you are going in and thinking through, what is my math review about, which is this week, you actually probably want to give a question on what's a factor, what's a multiple, and is this number prime or composite? Make it better than that. But like that's the reason why we need to know when is a quiz, what's on a quiz, and what is that building block actually about. Like, it's important for you as a teacher, and if we're going to do a review in advance, we might as well do a review of what's actually on the quiz. This does not mean that I'm suggesting that we open a quiz up, look at it, and teach to the test. If we know what a building block is about, and we have the opportunity to go back into a unit overview and say, like, man, this first quiz is about students using arrays to represent and understand multiplication situations as equal groups. Just go over questions that are about that so kids remember what to do. Remote learning is weird, in-person learning is weird, and like we might as well give kids the chance to like wake their brains up. So now I've talked to you about when, where to find the information of when and what's on a quiz. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm so incredibly grateful for Ada. Ada has created something really cool for us this year. It's called Student Quick Code Links. And so in here, she hasn't uploaded all of our practice quizzes yet. This is the section it's going to go in. 4G's already filling up. Ada, you're amazing. But once she has rostered the assessment, and she's working off of a different assessment calendar, it's a little bit easier for someone to look at like really quickly. So she's not digging into like all 5 of our tabs. You're going to get an email either from Ada, myself, Caitlin, whoever your dean is, and it'll have the link to this code tracker each week, and it'll have your student quick code links in it. So this is an important action step that you're going to want to write down. Every Friday, my dog is just drinking water for like 30 seconds straight. Every Friday before the upcoming Monday when a quiz is happening, we have to actually upload our student quick code links to Google Classroom. When you do this, please do not release the link until like 5 to 10 minutes before the quiz. So if the quiz is happening at 10:25, we probably wouldn't want to make that link live in Google Classroom until say 10:20 or maybe like 10:10. You could do it at the end of the screen break time when you jump into quiz review. Just because we don't want kids actually going into the quiz. The quiz is live as of 7 a.m. and we don't want them to like go in, do it before we even get to the quiz itself. The link that you're posting, you might be like, whoa, Sarah, shouldn't there be so many links because there's so many kids? Well, cool thing is if you post this to Google Classroom and then use the Hapara push-in link for any issues you have with kids being like, it's not there, and you're like, it is, you just didn't scroll down. You can use that quick code, and when you click on it, it immediately brings you to Illuminate, and all kids have to do is type in their student login. So student login is either their ID, don't try and do that, just use the email address, and kids know their email address. It's whatever their name is at afscholars.org. I don't know what their usernames are. It might be their first and last name, but just go with the email address. Like they've been typing it in for years. So that's the second thing. So now you know where to find information on when is the quiz, what's on the quiz. Now you know how kids are going to be accessing quickly Illuminate to take their quizzes. Huge shout out to Ada. And now I'm going to show you where to actually find the quiz. So Illuminate keeps shutting down. So we'll see. Woohoo! Maybe this is going to work. Probably when I click something, it's going to like crash. This is an Illuminate homepage. You'll notice that they still think I am a Hartford teacher. There's nothing I can do about it, and I'm going to let it be. When you get to Illuminate, you want to be looking at the quiz as kids are jumping into it. I also always IPP a quiz the night in advance. I make sure that I write my quiz review earlier than that, so I'm never changing anything I'm doing based on that. But Illuminate is where our quizzes are housed. So in order to find a quiz this year, you're going to want to use the name that is attached to the Rhode Island Elementary School calendar. So this first one for 4th grade is called Math Unit Test 1.1. I'm going to go in. You can use the quick buttons. I'm an old school person and I use the assessments. I click view assessments. It's also literally this like grayish purple box. I wonder what color that actually is. Click view assessments. And then make sure you shift to all assessments. These are my personally made ones from like 2016. Go into all assessments. And then when you're here, there are 2 filters I'm using to find these quickly, and you can actually save your filters if it makes it easier for you. I don't put any type in because the type thing is the thing that's messing it up right now. I'll put in 3rd and 4th grade for the time being because those are the 2 I'm predominantly working with. And then we're working in math right now. There's really nothing else you need to add. Search. And if you do not see math unit test pop up, then you know that you're in the wrong place. So look at here. We have math unit test 1.1 for 4th grade, 1.3 for 4th grade, and 1.1 for 3rd grade. All of them are available right now on Illuminate. Because third grade isn't going until the 28th, I'm going to talk through the fourth grade one. So when you click into this link right here, it's going to bring you to the testing homepage. So on this homepage, you get this cool box that pops up. It only pops up until kids have like accessed testing. But up here, I'll talk over it quickly, is the word overview, then details, setup, administration, and reports. I'm going to leave this box because it might not always be there, and so I want to talk you through this section. To be able to find the quiz, you've now found it, and you're probably like, I need the teacher materials so that I can give this assessment. Cool thing in third and fourth grade, there's no read aloud directions unless a child requires read aloud directions to them. Make sure you're reviewing the IEPs for accommodations utilizing the breakout room for small group instruction. And if a kid has read aloud instructions, you can read aloud the instructions in that breakout room. It's like an easy thing that you can provide in that space and probably will help them out. So overview is inactive right now because there's no information in it. Overview will open up once there's data in, and it has like a lot of cool data reports that I will have to talk you through once we have data in. So that makes me think about when I need to do that video. Setup is where you go to get the materials you need. Obviously it says materials right here. There's an answer key here, information. I always go straight to materials. And sometimes there's more things, but the Scholar test booklet is here. We don't need that this year because kids just click right into Illuminate. And then the teacher test booklet looks like it's already open. It looks like this guy. It downloads onto your computer. So you can see that for the fourth grade test, there's problem 1, which of these numbers are prime numbers? Problem 2, which of the following are multiples of both 3 and 5? And then the last one is an open-ended problem that kids are going to need to type their responses in. And it gives you the grading metrics. So obviously these two self-grade because the computer selects them. It's a multi-answer one, and so is that. Those are spicy. But it tells you here what you're going to do to grade. This isn't the grading PD, but I do want you to see that you already have the materials and resources to grade. And then we'll go back to this page. If you have never given an Illuminate test, you should spend some time in this tab called online testing. A lot of these enter edit we're going to come back to when we're grading, but online testing is a really great place for you to get an idea of what kids can see. When you get to this page, you want to click this button that says preview assessment. It's in the top right hand corner. I don't know what these, oh, test with a quick code. That's where Ada got that cool quick code. Oh, that's cool. So click preview assessment. I don't know what any of these buttons do. Don't touch them. And I just click preview. I've also never read what any of those buttons are, and I always just click preview. When a kid clicks their quick code and logs in, this is the first page that they'll see. You'll say, great, click begin test, begin showing your work on paper. Can't wait to see you crush this. When kids get in, they have a couple features, arrow forward, pause, zoom. They should not be pausing unless like something crazy happens. If they go to the bathroom, they don't need to pause it. Like it's not going to be the end of the world. And then a bunch of weird annotation tools that they don't need, but they mirror state testing guidelines. So this is a slash out, which is, I think you can click this and then cross it out like that, which is pretty cool. A note-taking tool that doesn't save, so it's great. And then if they're having a hard time, they can flag it and come back to it, and I'll show you what happens. So I click through, I'll click my answer choices. Oh, I'm not gonna click my answer choices. I'm gonna unclick that guy. Click next. I'll pick that answer. That is a multiple of both 3 and 5. Oh, so is this, and so is, and no, this is silly now, I'm sorry. And then last one, kids are going to type their answer in here. And I'm going to, once the answer is saved, so tell kids to just be patient because it does a slow saving process. Kids are going to click review. And you can see now that the little flag is up here. And so I know that, oh man, I was feeling a little bit funky about that. I can click back and it actually brings me back to that question. If I feel like, great, I'm done, I should probably remove the flag, and then I click finish. When kids get there, it'll bring them back to their Illuminate hub. And if I want to go back, I just click return to DNA. This is a great way of just like feeling out what it is to be a kid. And then when we get to the data responsive PD, I'll talk you through reports. None of them work right now because there's nothing to report on. But my favorite one, just as a little quick preview, is the matrix report. It's pretty cool. So I think I talked you through everything. I talked you through the quick links. I will say Network has provided this PD. I will share it out with you all. It's not like perfect, but it's a cool start. So things that kids will need, what they'll need to do while they're taking the test, completing the work, submitting your work. Some of this is inaccurate because they're not doing their work in a Google Doc. They're doing it in Illuminate. What to do when you need help and what to do when you're done, double check your work. So I'll share this out with you all. But ultimately, third grade, you have a little bit of time before you're jumping into testing, about a full week. Everyone this Friday is taking the practice test on Illuminate. Please make sure you're referencing that video to be prepared for that. And then fourth grade, you're gonna rock out our first test on Monday during your math block. Chris was already creating a really cool review for you all. And if you have any more questions, please go to the tabs first, try and figure out if you know the answer, go to a peer, and then come to me ultimately if you need support with anything. I am a huge Illuminate geek, and this is something that I've loved for a really long time. So I'm more than willing to like chat with you about it. But ultimately today you learned where quizzes are, what quizzes are about, when quizzes are happening, Mondays, unless we don't have a Monday, and then we'll figure it out from there. Where to figure out additional information is always that unit overview. And then I didn't talk you through key review, but it's like a mini math lesson, and so it'll be fine. Great, reach out with any questions, and if you want to have some fun, you can go to my YouTube, subscribe. I've got really great content there about how to solve math problems. Great, thanks guys.